Hello and welcome. My name is Danny. Today we're going to be building a CLI tool using Node.js and TypeScript. And all that this CLI is going to do is we're going to give it a word. It's going to go and find a word that rhymes with that word, and it's going to display it to us. So all in all, as promised, a pretty useless project. And honestly, I kind of hope that you don't learn anything. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, the most important part of any project is, of course, naming it, and we're going to call ours Rhymeo, because just because what we're creating isn't useful doesn't mean it can't be creative. All right, so let's initialize the project and create our tsconfig and open this bad boy up. All right, so as per usual, first thing that we're going to do is get rid of all of that and paste in our simple tsconfig. And we have dist and we have source, and let's change this to bin just because we're creating a CLI tool. And I'm going to go change this to exports, and I'm going to change this to dist/bin. And so here we can, if we want to keep just Rhymeo as our keyword, I think we can just kind of put the path here. But in case we want to change, we'll keep it as Rhymeo for now, but in case we wanted to change this to like rhyme away or something like that, we will define it like this. And here we will once again go just dist bin index.js. And let's add some scripts. So build, watch, and start. We're going to use nodemon dist bin index.js. Okay, we're going to add some dev dependencies, which are going to just be TypeScript and, just in case, the types for Node. Let's make our source folder and source/index.ts. And let's just make sure that we've hooked everything up correctly with our hello world. So now go yarn watch and then open up a new terminal here and yarn start. Great. Seem to be working okay. So here's the plan. Basically, what we're going to use to create or to find rhymes is we're going to go Google a dictionary. I did a quick Google search before, and we should be able to find what we need. Or sorry, not dictionary, an API that will query for a rhyme that works. I found a couple of candidates that seem they might be good, so we'll go take a look at those. And so basically the user is going to get a prompt. They're going to enter the word in response to the prompt, and then our CLI is behind the scenes is going to query this endpoint and return our rhyme, hopefully. So we'll see how that goes. So let's head over to Google and let's just go rhyme API. So these were the main ones that I saw. So in order to find, use HTTPS, and let's see. Is this free? Is the question. This is strictly read-only service, an API token is not required. Perfect. This is exactly what we're looking for. And words that rhyme with forgetful. Okay, so it looks like we use this. Where did I see that? Well, we'll use this endpoint. We'll just add HTTPS to it. Excuse me, and we pass in these arguments. Where was forgetful? I've already forgotten. Okay, cool. So first things first, we want a self-invoking function, and it's going to be asynchronous. Okay, and let's just start with this. Words and rel ri equals, and let's just test this just to see if it does what we want it to do. So I guess we need to add Axios or whatever you want to use to fetch. I know that Axios is a little heavy, but I like it. And let's go here and go data equals await Axios.get. And we need URL, and let's just define a word, and let's just look for rhymes for node. Okay. Oh, my bad. And then we just want console.log data. Oopsies, start. Okay, great. This is exactly what we want. So it looks like we'll just have to dig down and grab the word value. And okay, we could do this one of two ways. We're going to decide a little bit later, but we can either just return the first one, which seems to be the best match. And I'm guessing that that's going to be pretty deterministic, that we'll get the best match first, because it looks like these are sorted in order. Or we can just pick a random word from this list, which might end up being what we do, just because that seems a little bit more interesting to me. Okay, so now let's also just take a second to think about the different, what is the word I'm looking for? The different prompts that we're going to present to our users. So we're going to want a welcome prompt. We're going to want a kind of a default prompt, which asks for a word. If they don't pass us an argument, let's say we want to be able to get them to enter an argument, so we'll have a retry. And then if we find words, great, we're going to have a found argument. And then if we don't find words, we're going to have a not found prompt. And then the last thing that we want this CLI to do is we want to be able to pass it -q to quit. So let's create a new module here. We'll call it prompts. Let's actually just copy this in with us, or cut it out, I guess. And we're going to encapsulate all of our output logic here. We might run into one little problem, but we're just going to do this right now like this. Generate prompts. It's going to be a function that's going to return all of our options. And finally, we're going to export default generate prompts. Okay. So we said that we want welcome. We want, I don't think it'll let us call anything default, so we'll just call it basic. Retry. Found. And not found. And we won't actually give any feedback for when the user quits because they're doing that explicitly. Okay, so our welcome prompt, we're going to console.log because everything is going to be spit out in the console. Welcome to rhyme CLI. Type Q at any time to quit. Sounds about right. Basic, we're going to just console.log. Actually, this one, I think we're not going to console.log. We're going to return it because we want to feed this into what we're going to use to gather a user input. So this is like this prompt is expecting a response. So we're going to use the readline tool from Node itself, and this is just to give us the text that we're going to be feeding into that. So for now, I'm going to kind of try to keep that over here and the readline tool in our main file. You do whatever you like, because it actually doesn't matter, because this project is pointless. Okay, and then the same for our retry, but you have to choose a word. Try again. So I guess we could do this a couple different ways. Like, I guess we could have it spit this out and then spit out this basic prompt again, but I'm just gonna try to keep things simpler and do it like this. Okay, so if a word is found, how do we want to phrase this? Console.log found. So let's pass this a couple of arguments. We're gonna have the word and the rhyme that we find. Word is gonna be a string, and the rhyme is also gonna be a string. So change this to that. So found rhyme as a word that rhymes with word. And then not found, so it's just going to take a single argument. So I guess just for consistency's sake, we could go like that. But word is string, and this is going to say console.log. Sorry, no words could be found that rhyme with word. Okay, and finally we want to return all these. Welcome, basic, retry, found, and not found. Oh, right, we maybe want to stop doing this call for now. And let's import prompts from prompts. Okay, so we are going to keep our URL here, and let's the way that we're going to organize this is basically all of our kind of specific actions, which I think we're only really going to have two. We're going to define them as functions and then kind of call them at the end. So we'd be able to do, await greet and await ask question. So let's start with greet. So let's define it, and let's make it asynchronous, and then we can take that out. And so this, I think, is just going to be prompts.welcome. Let's see that in action. Welcome to Rhyme CLI. Type -q at any time to quit. Okay, so now that was easy. Next step is ask question. Now for this, what we're going to want to do is use, as I said, readline. So import readline from readline. And the way that this works is readline.create interface. And so we're going to pass what we want our input to be, which we're just going to use standard input, and our output, which we're going to want as our standard output. And then, because I'd rather work with promises instead of callbacks, sorry, from util, I believe. question, which is equal to promisify rl dot question dot find rl, excuse me, which I believe is what we need to do. And then let's just test this to see if it works. Response question, and we're gonna ask, do you want to build a snowman? And then we're gonna console.log this response. Oh, yeah, we gotta await. And add that space there. No. Oh, okay, so this printed out twice, so I think, yeah, terminal. And we're gonna say this is false. So now if we say no, the only console.log that we're getting is this right here. So instead of res, I think word would be a more appropriate name here. And now let's do some of our conditional logic. So if we don't find a word, why is it unhappy? Void cannot be tested for truthiness. Well, here comes our good friend any. So if no word, we're going to how do we want to do this? Okay, we're going to basically have a default argument here that we're going to pass, and it's going to be prompts.basic, and this question is going to be, oh, not test, sorry, text. And then if we don't find a word, we are going to call this function again, this time passing prompts.retry. So if we try that out, nice. And if we give it something, okay, it's moving on to the next step. Oopsies. So we also said that if word is equal to -q, we said because we want it to quit, this we're going to call rl.close. And this is going to be else if. And let's try this. So -q, nice. And just to make sure that still works, then -q, great. And then finally, else, that means that we have a word that we want to try to rhyme. And what we are going to do is grab this again. And we are going to then, right, we get that list. Like we did up here, we want to drill down to word. Oh yeah, and we want to be able to randomly get the word that we want. Or like randomly get, sorry, a word from the list. It's hard to think and talk at the same time. So first we're going to check to see if we have options. If data.length, we're going to do some stuff, and then else. Basically, we know that we didn't find anything, so we're going to go to prompts. We're going to say not found, and we could pass it our argument, which is our word, and then we are going to ask question again. So we're going to keep cycling through and hope that we find something. So let's try this and just do something that we know is not going to rhyme with anything. Sorry, no word could be found that rhymed. No word could be found that rhymes with. Perfect. Okay. So, but if there are words, we're going to get a random one. So we're going to go math.random times, I think it's max minus min plus the minimum added to all of this. But because our min is 0 for our 0 index, it's just going to have the maximum, which is the length of the array, minus 1, just because our array is 0 indexed. And for good measure, let's go math.floor, just in case. So now prompt stat found, we have our word and we have our rhyme, which is going to be data at index.word. So really actually, well, we'll just leave that like that for now. And then at the end of all of this, we want to ask our question again, because we're going to make the user explicitly want to quit. So found a secret code as a word that rhymes with node. Let's try it again. Found legal code as a word that rhymes with node. Found shroud, I don't know, a word that rhymes with node. Okay. Yeah, that seems to be the functionality. Actually, that's the application right there. Let's make this a little bit more interesting. Let's see, what packages do we have installed? So let's add yarn add boxin. I always like it when I use a CLI and there's that nice box telling me about the CLI. So that's what this package does for us. And import boxin from boxin. Okay. And so we'll use that for our welcome. So we'll say greeting box equals boxin. We will pass it our text. And we will then also pass it some options. So we'll say padding 1, margin 1, background color, magenta, border color, we'll say we want green, border style we want round, and let's see, let's give it a title, Rhymeo CLI, and text alignment, we'll say we want center. And so console.log greeting box, I believe, is all that we need to do. And let's give it a go. Ooh. Okay. All right, so it's not happy with this. Let's go ES 2020. Module resolution to node. Yes, we do. Module resolution node. And set type module in package.json. Let's copy that. Go here, here. Oh yeah, I think this can be fixed by adding the .js extension. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Rhymeo CLI, and let's make one more adjustment to this, and let's just do that. Perfect. Okay, that is a really, really weird magenta. It almost looks blue to me, but I could just be colorblind. Okay. What word would you like to rhyme? We'll just leave that as a basic thing. sorry, but you just have to choose a word. Let's leave that as a basic thing. Okay, so now for this found thing, it would be really nice if this word was highlighted in a color and this word was highlighted in a color. So let's use chalk. And let's go import chalk from chalk. And for this, we'll just do chalk.blue. And for this, we're going to do chalk.green. And let's see how that works. Let's see, banana. Susanna as a word that rhymes with banana. Perfect. Okay, that seems to be our whole application. We're probably not going to do anything more to it. Now, the only thing is, what we would really like to be able to do is type Rhymeo in here and have this work. So, let's see, u plus x, and then this bin index.js. So now if we go this bin / index.js, oh, we are missing from the top here. Then I think this should be all that we need to get this to work. Yeah, okay, but still no Rhymeo, because for that we need to go yarn link global . Oh, Rhymeo, there we go. Okay, so apparently there's already a package called Rhyme somewhere globally installed. So let's go yarn unlink global. So now yarn link global. And let's try Rhymeo. Okay. And then let's go back here. Let's clear this out. And actually, let's just go to our root directory and Rhymeo. Nice. Okay, so now let's celebrate with cupcake. Found steak as a word that rhymes with cupcake. Okay, what word do you like to rhyme? Let's try it again. Namesake. Nice. Okay, so there you have it. We're up and running. We have our CLI, and now we're able to rhyme words to our heart's content. I know this was kind of a long video, but I hope that, well, I do hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you didn't learn anything. So yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.